as human beings, we all go through trauma. You know, our kids, us, you know, our parents. How does Yancy Medeiros cope with trauma?
I just go in my little black hole in my room and just hide up in a ball. No, I definitely think that's mental health is not something that like men like to talk about. It's not a very it's a more of a sensitive topic to talk about with men, like especially like my dad's age and like all these guys like you know in their 50s, 60s, even us, like we ain't trying to be all talk about what our problems is. Nobody fucking cares. Yeah. In that sense, right? Or at least that's how I think about it. Like my problems, I'm like everything that happens to me happens because of me.
Okay. So how do you cope with it? Like when, you know, like say a family member dies or something bad happens.
The why, bro. Yeah. The why. I have to understand the why.
Okay.
My traumas, anything that ever happened to me in my past that was like super emotional, psychotic, or any of that was like, I really, now that I'm older, is like, I found my why.
Okay.
You know, like, oh, why did you fight? Because I wanted to be happy. I wanted to do all those things, like, just be happy. I wanted to fight in Kumite. Like, I remember seeing Jean-Claude Van Damme. I wasn't like, oh, I need to do this in my life. I was like, oh, I like to do that. Oh, I like being in movies and, you know, being a stunt man. And, like, bro, I got to do it all. But just because I understood the whys of my trauma too, like I was able to address it myself. Like I would just sit down with it, like, and as we was young too, it was like, shut up, figure it out, right? Like no, like there's no sit down. Yeah. There's no sit down and like, you know, oh, this is this and this is this. It's like, no, you don't do that. Why? Because I said. Like I'm not like that. I'm always like, why are you doing the dishes? Because that's what you have to contribute to. My kids, I'm telling them to do the dishes. Like, you got to contribute some way to the house, right? When you get your own house, love, you don't pay your own bills. That's the why. I never know that at 5 years old, why I got to do the job. My yard, clean the house, or clean the yard with 4 mango trees, just thriving, you know, by myself. And I'm like, bro, why I got to do this? Because that's your chores. But I was glad that I got to figure all that out and all the trauma, all the lickings I ever got and all that. Like, I'm like, oh, my parents did the best they knew how to love, and they loved me. They did the best they could. Yeah. That's what I come to terms with. For me, it's like my trauma, I'm like, okay, bad days come with a good life.
Yeah. It's part of it. You know,
you know what I mean? Like every time something bad happens, I'm like, shit. Like, you know, like I'm like, when it comes to the good life, because if you always had bad days, if you only had good days, then you're not gonna know what real good day is, because you never had a bad day.
Well, the lotus does blossom from the mud, and diamonds are made from coal,
pearls,
from the pressure.
Everything that's beautiful and shiny takes time and takes work to get to.